Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I'm going to be running down an Apple's event today, meaning I'm going to do a recap. So if you see me looking to the side, that's because I have my notes pulled up on my external monitor, so please excuse me for that. But basically, Apple hosted a conference today and was actually in San Jose, California today. I mean, I've never seen them host a WWDC event in that town. Most of the time, it's always been San Francisco, and there was another town too. I always forget what that was. But normally it's like on and off, and then they did it in New York a couple times. But without further ado, let's get started. So let's start off with the first thing that I read about. It was basically an update to Watch OS. What do they have? The Siri is more proactive. Their definition of proactive is meaning like Siri will display information that you require. So any excess info that you don't need to know about right away, Siri's not going to display it for you. So it's going to try to get to know you basically and display whatever it is that you need. Extra watch faces. It's got a kaleidoscope on it. The workout app got a new user interface. So for those of you guys that use the Apple Watch for fitness, hopefully that'll be an improvement for whenever you're working out. And of course, it's going to have the flashlight app, so you can basically use your watch as a flashlight now. Apps are going to be a lot faster now, and there's a developer preview that's going to be available today, but the final version of this next Watch OS update will be available in the fall. So without further ado, let's get on to the Apple TV, which there wasn't really much to it. I mean, they're going to integrate Amazon Prime Video into the Apple TV now, so it's like a video service from Amazon. I don't know too much about it because I don't subscribe to like any video streaming services or anything like that. I don't feel the need to. It's just not something that I'm really interested in. But for those of you guys that do, hopefully this will be a big plus for you if you have the Apple TV. So let's get started on some of the software that they announced, which let's start off with macOS High Sierra. So currently we are running macOS Sierra right now, 10.12 and up, and now we are going to have 10.13, and it seemed like it was just like a few refinement changes that they made to it, meaning like with the Safari browser, Apple's going to block the ads, although they're still going to be displayed on there from what I've read, but it's supposed to protect the privacy of the user as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. And also the mail, photos, and the Apple file system. macOS now currently runs HFS Plus, but it looks like Apple is looking to replace that for faster performance. This includes like improvements to the mail and the photos app, like I just mentioned those two, and it's going to be Metal 2 ready, which apparently is basically for external graphics, and it's going to be available today for the developers, but the final version will be coming out in the fall. So we'll have to see if my mid-2010 MacBook Pro that I'm recording of right now is going to be capable. Otherwise, this thing is pretty much outdated, which at some point these computers do become outdated at some point. It's just no telling when, because it's like these things will last a lot longer than iOS devices, but at some point they do stop updating as well. So let's talk about the iMacs. So Apple are upgrading the iMac lineup right now, featuring Intel's Lady Lake or KB Lake Intel processors. Excuse me, because the autocorrect I just realized was not right on that, so that's why I was having a tough time saying it. But yes, it's featuring Intel's new KB Lake processors out there, which is basically gonna be Intel's 7th gen processors. The screens are gonna be improved. They're gonna be 43% brighter with 10-bit dithering. For the 27-inch models, it can go up to 64 gigs of RAM if you choose to do so. It's going to feature the standard Fusion drives for the 27-inch models, and up to 2 terabytes of storage with the SSD. So you basically have a normal SSD and then a 2 terabyte hard drive alongside it. Now the entry level model is going to feature the Iris Plus 640 graphics, and the 27-inch model that features the Retina 4K display will have the Radeon Pro 570, 575, or 580 graphics, and it's going to feature 2 USB-C ports and a Thunderbolt 3 port as well. The 21.5-inch that does not have the Retina 4K display is going to start off at $1099, which is basically $1,099. Don't get those mixed up with $10.99. Please don't. The 21.5-inch 4K model is going to start at $1299, and of course the 27-inch 5K model is going to start off at $1799. Alright, so that's the upgraded iMac lineup. Now let's talk about the upgraded MacBook lineup, which basically is the same thing, upgraded to Intel's KB Link processors. There are 7th gen processors. Although the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, they did cut down the price a little bit. It's going to start at $1299 with the fastest SSDs for all the MacBooks that are available today. Alright, so let's talk about another iMac, and they're calling this the iMac Pro. I was not expecting this whatsoever. Just by looking at pictures, it looks like it's going to feature the black color that was available on the MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, or the space gray. Actually, no, I take that back. It looks more black than the space gray color does, but we'll have to see how that looks in person. But it's going to feature dual centrifugal fans, and it's going to feature an 8-core Xeon processor. Not even an i7. This is going to feature a Xeon on there. Although if you wanted to upgrade, from what I've read, you can upgrade it to have 18 cores. Just by first impressions, it looks like this is more like for a media creator, someone who wants to create video, create audio, create pictures. I mean, that's one thing that the Xeons were known for. And of course, it's going to feature the Radeon Vega graphics. It's going to have 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Going to have a 10 gigabit Ethernet built-in port, a 1080p FaceTime camera, and it'll be available in December starting at $49.99, $4,999. So that's the iMac Pro right there, and definitely check out Apple's websites to see if that's a machine that's for you. So let's talk about iOS 11. So iOS is running on Apple's mobile devices, the iPhone, the iPads, iPod Touch, although iPod Touch is most likely on the music side. So that device doesn't really get too much attention, although this upgrade should be applied to that device as well, especially since Apple has upgraded the 5th generation to the 6th generation with the same design, just upgraded specs. So I'm expecting iOS 11 should be supported on that, but I'll find out otherwise. iOS 11, it's going to have the improved iMessage app because it's going to constantly sync with all your devices, and I don't use the iPhone very often as my main phone, so I am missing out on some of the features that you could do if you did have it active on a cell service. But apparently what I discovered was, like, if you have iMessage set on your Mac, you delete a message, it doesn't delete it off of your Mac, so it's constantly syncing with all your devices right now with iOS 11, so that's pretty neat. Peer-to-peer payments through messages, it's basically an Apple Pay feature where you can actually send your friends money through text message, especially if you use the Square app or the Square transaction software. Are pretty straight. And Siri, it's going to sound more natural, and it's going to be like what I said in the Watch OS update, going to be more proactive, display certain information. Simple. The Photos app are going to use HEVC video encoding and HEIF for photos, basically to just have better picture quality, but in a smaller size photo. So what Apple's trying to do here is like allowing you to not have to produce huge size photos to get the best quality out of your pictures. Now you can do the same thing with with the smaller size photos. So we shall see how that goes. Control center is going to be redesigned. It's going to feature 3D touch icons for controls. Maps gives you indoor maps at the mall. It's going to display like speed limits and lane guidance. So basically, maps is getting improved. AirPlay 2 is going to be supported now. The App Store will have a Today tab, which from what I've read, is basically going to feature like apps that are mostly featured today. So I can expect this tab to be changing out throughout the days. And the games, they're going to have their own tabs. And not only that, but iOS 11 is going to feature augmented reality. So we should see how that goes. And I did read somewhere that Apple did demonstrate it. I'll have to check out the event for that. Because at the time of this video making, I have not watched the event yet, but I will after. And of course, it'll be out for developers today. And the final version will not be released until the fall. Alright, so let's talk about the iPad Pro. So apparently Apple announced a 10.5 inch version of the iPad Pro, which is basically going to feature the same features that you had from the iPad Pros that are out there right now, the 9.7 inch and then the 12.9 inch. Although it looks like, because I did take a peek at Apple's website, it looks like they replaced the 9.7 inch with the 10.5, which means the only 9.7 inch versions that you have right now is just a regular iPad. That's about it. Now let's talk about a speaker that Apple announced, which is supposed to compete with the Amazon Echo. It's basically a smart home speaker. And you know, there are like some pretty neat features on there. I'll have to check out the event to provide more details about it, because I'm still trying to get the idea of this product right here. But I mean, one really cool feature that I saw was like it can automatically adjust the volume depending on the size of the room that HomePod is in, and it'll be released in December, but for $349. So we shall see how this speaker goes. Although the Amazon Echo I've never used before, and I've actually never seen one in person, so I'll have to find it in the store somewhere, or basically just keep watching videos about it. I mean, I have heard of it, but I've never played with it myself lately, like personally. Therefore, I don't get the full idea of that product. So that's it. That's all Apple had for today's WWDC event. I mean, what do you guys think? What are you most excited for? You most excited about iOS 11? You most excited about macOS High Sierra? You more excited about the upgraded Macs? I mean, the iMacs and the MacBooks with the Kaby Lake Intel processors? Or what about that iMac Pro? And, you know, how about the 10.5 inch iPad Pro? No, I mean, was the 9.7 inch version too small for the Pro model? Was the 12.9 inch version too big for the Pro model? I mean, leave a comment down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check out the description below for my social media links, Twitter, Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.